You know that bougie auntie and uncle?
The ones that laugh real loud.
Ain't got no kids.
And always seem ready to turn up.
And throw down.
Simultaneously. In the name of Black queer excellence.
That's us. I'm Ollie.
I'm Lenah.
And this is Speak on That. Take a minute, girl, come sit down and tell us what's been happening. In your face, I can see the pain. Don't you try to convince us that you're happy. Yeah. We've seen this all before, brother, taking advantage of the passion. Because we've come too far for you to feel alone. You to let them walk over your heart. I'm telling you, girl. I could tell you've been crying and you're needing somebody to talk to. Girl. I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you.
Girl.
You don't have to be hiding. Don't you be ashamed to say he hurt you. I'm your
girl.
You're my
girl.
We
are. Don't
Won't
you know
that we love you? A classic.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll go down
That's
in
the
the
first song
history.
that you ever sang to me.
Every time I would call you, I would sing that song. And
every time.
And then finally you were like, am I going through something?
Yeah. Literally, I'm like, am I okay?
Why do you keep singing this song towards me? But DC3.
Mm-hmm.
Legends. Mm-hmm. Love us some Destiny's Child.
Absolutely.
We are back another week. Speak on that. We are here. Got a lot of ground to cover. But how are you doing?
Oof.
How's your week going?
My week is busy.
Yeah.
My week has been jam-packed with just thing after thing after thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not bad, I guess. It's fine, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dealing with caffeine, right?
Yep. That's coffee and Red Bull. Red Bull.
Yep. Just if you alternate them, it's like, and then have like a glass of water in between each.
Ain't that it?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that it? I was talking. It's so funny because sometimes I try not to like tell you things when we talk not on the podcast because I get kind of excited to tell you. But we FaceTimed yesterday and I was like, and then I was telling you about this new book that I'm reading. And
yes,
I was like, you're going to be so proud of me.
So excited.
So I know. So it's The Power of Birthdays, Stars, and Numbers. And it's like a complete personology reference guide to like numerology and you know, it is a trip. And anybody that's listening right now, if I see you in the next week, you better believe I am doing you. Like I am going down. I am going down.
Listen, I literally, like, I'm not even joking right now. Like people think it's crazy. Listen, I'm dead ass right now.
It's a real thing.
First date, I'm like, call your mama right now. What time were you born? I'm like, we don't need birth chart. Right now, I need to know. Just tell me.
It's fascinating. Like the
really
ones that I've done already have been spot on. And in the sense that like you can certainly, people can certainly argue that like, oh, it's just generalized language or, oh, it's just this or, oh, it's just that. Yeah. But really, I don't know though. Like this one, I'm like, no, like this is getting nitty gritty to the person that I'm talking to. It's like, it's you. It is their personality.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's like, I feel like people will say that stuff where they're like, oh, it's just really general and you can apply to anyone or whatever. But I feel like when they say that, they're thinking more about like, they're like, oh, your daily horoscope or whatever that just goes by your sun sign or whatever. But it's like when you dig deeper into the stuff, like, and then throw in numerology in there, it's like, it's so... like, it's not really all that general.
It's a
like, if you really look into it. And a lot of times, I always tell people, I'm like, you're going to be triggered at first. You're probably going to disagree. But, like, come back to it in a month, and you're going to be like, oh, shit, yeah, damn.
Definitely. And this one triggered, certainly, some things. So this one there's a kind of like, I guess, a breakdown for all 366 days of the year. So you basically go to your birthday, you read the entire thing. It gives you like your secret love, or no, it gives you love and relationships. It gives you your secret identity, I believe it's called. It gives you your generalized
Ooh.
breakdown. But then furthermore, this is the interesting part, is within the subcategories, they have other birthdays. So like love and relationships, who you'll kind of connect with the most in regards to those. The people that are challenging. But the way that they do it is not by like other signs. It's literally by birthdays.
Like the
So
actual day.
yes.
Amazing.
So it's
I
like,
love that.
oh, it's so wild, because you're like looking for specific days. And you're like, because I really click
Yeah.
with this person. Are they in my thing or whatever, or vice
But the thing
versa.
about that is, okay, because I'm just like I'm like connecting the dots. But it's like
Hmm.
when you think about each day, just the way that like your sun, moon, rising, Mercury, Venus, all of your planets line up, it's like each day is going to be different. So
Hmm.
it's like just really interesting that it's like they're like, for this day, if you were born on this day, this is
Hmm.
like, I love that. Oh my
Oh
gosh, I
no.
love
So
it.
like there's even, and I know you're so well versed in this, but there's even, it tells you the way that it's moving in transition. So like when you're 22 years old, like,
What?
and listen, so it triggered me because yeah, like it was telling me about certain, like like that my age of 22 is when
Mm-hmm.
I came out. So that's, I was just like, whoa, like that was a huge
Wow.
transition point for me. So for it to call that out, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
like it was
That's
trippy.
wild.
No, listen, we're gonna get into it on another episode,
Oh,
because I know we have one coming up, but
no,
it's
that one's
like
gonna
it
be
is
3 hours
trip.
long.
It is a trip, and as I said, I've been looking at people's close to me's birthdays and stuff, and like looking at, you know,
Hmm.
and I've just been like it, to do it and like read it and be like, oh, that's interesting. But it's another thing to do it with them and to kind of see how they are
Yeah.
reacting and being, are they receptive
Yeah.
to it, or like, and like I asked, I was doing it with somebody, and I was just like, does this date mean anything to you? Because there was a specific date that kept standing out.
Hmm.
And at first, it took a minute, and then it was there. Like it was like, oh my gosh, that's so and so. So it was just
Oh,
crazy. Like it's,
wow. What?
listen.
Oh, okay. Let me just calm down.
Yes,
You
yes, I
got
know.
me
Okay,
all excited.
should we go to the episode? Should we
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
episode?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Before we go
Before
to
this
of course.
episode turns into that episode.
Yeah. That's right. So this week, actually, you know what? I would be remiss if before we started, if we didn't mention the nonsense of Jacob Blake. It's
Oh
just
Lord.
another day, another senseless shooting. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I don't know how many times we got to have these conversations with each other. I don't know how many times we got to have these conversations with other people, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's really about, we gotta change the system. We gotta fix infrastructure. We gotta this is no longer working, because even after 3 months of protests and rallies and outcry, we're
Yeah.
still here.
It's
Like I
still
don't know if you were,
happening. It's still,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I don't know
Also,
if you were reading today. Oh, go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
um,
Go ahead.
no, say, because maybe we're gonna say the same thing.
Well, no, I was gonna say, I don't know if you're reading today about how the NBA and the WNBA, how they're no longer playing. Like they're kind of going on strike, as far as I
Oh,
understand. Yeah, so it's
okay.
kind of a cool, like I feel like for the first time in recent history, we are seeing
Mm-hmm.
what I hope, as I said, I keep saying, will be a revolution and a change.
Yeah.
And because you have these structures like the NBA, who have these black players owned by white management and white owners,
Mm-hmm.
that are saying, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
So, and we're not playing. We will give up money. We don't even care. We're not playing
Yeah.
until we fix this. And I just think I mean, and you know, when you got money, you got pride.
That's,
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot to actually be like, we're not doing this until
Yeah.
justice is served, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you
Man.
going to say? Sorry.
I read today that the cops that were involved in the death of Regis Korchinsky Paquette.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
they were like, yeah, they didn't do anything wrong. They're good. It's fine.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ay, ay, ay,
And she's the
ay,
one, if anybody's unsure, she's the one that in Toronto that was during a wellness check ended up like falling from the balcony of her like 24th floor apartment or something like that. Yeah, so that's annoying.
Ooh, that's very annoying. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Enough is enough. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people deserve better. Black people deserve better. Justice needs to be served. And we're gonna keep talking until
I mean,
until this
we just
changes.
don't
Like
keep
we're not
talking.
gonna just keep we're not gonna just pretend that this isn't happening anymore to
no.
make others feel comfortable. Like we're
No, you
just gonna
don't-
keep talking.
Fuck your comfort.
You know? Yeah. But yes, thoughts, prayers, all of that to those affected, because it's a heavy burden to carry. But this week, y'all, we are coming at you with the topic on colorism. And this is a big one for us to dissect and talk about, and I hope that we can do it or serve it justice, because it is so convoluted within itself. And there's so many different facets to it. So I hope that we can do our due diligence, I guess, because there's so many layers.
I needed 2 glasses of wine for this one. I'm like, that's a lot. So we're really gonna.
It's a lot.
Okay, so just third episode, right into.
Yeah, right into it.
Okay, that's
right
fine. Let's
into
do it.
We waste no time.
Let's
so
do it.
Let's get into it. So I thought I would start with the actual definition of colorism.
Yeah. Okay.
So for those listening that don't know, according to dictionary.com, colorism is defined by the differential treatment based on skin color, especially favoritism towards those with a lighter skin tone, and mistreatment or exclusion of those with a darker skin tone, typically among those of the same racial group or ethnicity. So that is colorism as it is, within group and between group prejudice in favor of lighter skin. It was coined by feminist author Alice Walker. Our approach to it today is going to be to dissect it from how it's impacted by the white gaze, G-A-Z-E. Just
no, that's an important clarification.
Right? Distinction, right? And how it impacts Black people in specific, being that it's pertaining to us, like you and I. But it is important to understand that this happens across all ethnicities as well.
Yeah.
I think there's that show on Netflix, Indian Matchmaker.
Yes.
Which kind of addressed it in a lot of ways, Did they
address it, or were they just like?
Well, I shouldn't say they addressed it. No, I take that. So I take that back. I take that back.
It was kind of a thing that was just very much there, and no one blinked twice about it. It was just very,
Yes, and it was that. Well, that's the prime example of colorism in
basically
in modern day. But
side note, sorry, I watched that with my parents, and it was like just having watching Indian matchmaking with my African parents was really an experience that I quite enjoyed, actually. We'll talk about that later. It's fine.
Very interesting.
Very, it was wild.
That's a trip. But I thought we would approach this from more of a media kind of standpoint at first, and then we'll get a little bit more personal as we kind of go on.
Okay.
So my first question for the sake of discussion is, what are ways in which you feel that the media is responsible for enabling colorism?
Me personally, you're asking me.
Yeah. What do you what ways do you think that they're that they, because this happens all the time, but
okay, so there's so many things. One, there's not a lot of, you don't see a lot of dark-skinned women, especially of any race. Like when it comes to Black women, you don't see a lot of dark-skinned women. You don't see a lot of dark-skinned Indian women. You don't see a lot of dark-skinned Latina women. You don't see the representation for each race is usually like the lightest of that race.
Mm-hmm.
Except for white people.
Mm-hmm.
Who it's like
interesting.
a little bit tan, which is interesting, yeah. Also like the whole thing where like even in cartoons and stuff, it's like the villain is always like darker. Even if they're not human, they're always like
there
darker.
You go.
And like I remember people talking about like I don't remember what video game it was, but there's like the character, then there's like the evil version of the same character, and it's like the evil version was like black, basically.
Well, The Lion King is a prime example.
The Lion King.
You know, and Lord knows how much we love that movie, but you have that depiction of Scar being, and you know what? It's so interesting because I can't remember who it was, but somebody brought that up to me and was like, why? Like, it's interesting that Scar is dark, like there's like a darker lion and he's the villain. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
How did my black self not put that together? You know, like it's just wild because I'm not going to pertain this to the Lion King specifically, but as to your point about, you know, lighter skin kind of exuding a little bit more like innocence. It's like light skin represents like there's a youthful or softness to it, where more brown skin and more like black and dark skin represents a more serious or stoic nature.
Yeah.
Right. And then even furthermore, like black skin women, and at least in movies that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, can be seen as more like welfare reliant. Black skinned men are seen as more gangsters or criminals.
Yeah, I feel like.
Whereas the lighter skin, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go finish.
No, I was gonna say the lighter skin tones are seen as more like I don't know. They get the leading roles and they're the romantic partners and they're heroes and heroines and like these stereotypes and archetypes are obviously so wrong. Yeah, but it's what is being conditioned.
Yeah, like the dark skin girl is always the sidekick. Yeah. Never like the main, you know, the main person in whatever. Yeah. And it's like, I think even when you think about just even the word black or like dark, just those words and the way that we use those words to describe things, it's usually in a negative connotation. Like dark humor is like not... It's like humor that's like not acceptable for everyone, right? Like it's the shit that you kind of hide away and don't really, you know, for a specific type of people. And like, you know, I don't know, like black magic, the black sheep of the family. I remember when I was younger, I'd always be like, or somebody would like mention something about the black sheep or whatever, and I'm like, we're all black sheep in my family. I'm like, all of us is black sheep. What you mean?
Yeah. For real.
What you mean, who's the black sheep? What?
Yeah. You see, that's a good point. And then linguistics, that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the movie The Hate U Give?
I did. Did
what do you think about it, first of all?
I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. I loved it. I thought, like it was just, I thought it was really good. But I was thinking about how, because before the movie even came out, I was intending to read the book, and I just never got around to it. But I was thinking about how the lead actress, Amanda, what's her name?
Stenberg?
Yes. Yeah. She was in Lemonade, I believe.
Yeah,
like
she was,
for a portion of it. Yeah, so she was cast as the lead, and she's obviously a light-skinned actress. But the book version has the protagonist as obviously a more black-skinned person.
Really?
So do you see how even the ways that Hollywood or that the media are kind of slowly when they're transitioning from... Because when you read a book, you know, it's your imagination. That you're kind of...
okay.
Besides the words that are on the paper. Yeah. You're kind of forced, you know?
Yeah.
But then when you're being sold a vision... Yeah, that's right. When you're sold a vision, they start using lighter skin tones. And that's interesting to me.
Listen. Apparently, Hermione Granger is supposed to be black. From Harry Potter, she is supposed to be... Apparently, in the book, the way that she's described comes off more like she's supposed to be black. I don't remember if... what's her face that wrote it?
Has like... JK.
Yeah, if she had... if she She's like, I wrote her as black, but JK, she's a white girl with curly hair.
Yeah. But was it the features that she had? Like,
I think it was. I know that it was a lot about her hair, and then I don't remember what else because I only read the first book, and then I was literally like 8 when I read it, so I don't really remember all of that. But I remember that going around. Yeah. Also from Hunger Games, Rue.
Yes.
People were mad that Rue was black, even though Rue was clearly black.
That.
Yeah. And like,
I'll never
everybody
forget
was just going buck wild about that shit, and I'm like, can you guys calm the fuck down? Like,
that was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what's the actress's name. Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I don't remember her name either. But that outcry or that kind of the reaction to it, was wild. Like wild.
Like and people were literally like, oh wait, that was also Amandla.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Was it actually?
It was. Yeah, that's who she played. Rue.
Oh, funny. Oh, girl is having a hard time out here. Okay.
They're like, she's the acceptable black.
Yeah. Exactly. I actually really do like her though. Like I
love her. I really do. And she's also like, okay, this is the thing. Maybe I'll get into that later. I'm gonna write it down so I remember.
There's another thing that I was thinking about too, like in thinking about this episode, and like, you know, the Academy Awards or the Oscars, who are notorious for just being racist or, you know, not rewarding Black people, specifically Black women, for their efforts to pop culture and to film and the film industry. In the 92 or 93 years that they have been, you know, doing what they've been doing, the only Black actress to win Best Lead has been Halle Berry.
Wow.
In a world where Viola Davis exists,
in
a world where Kerry Washington exists,
she came to my head. I was like, but Viola,
you know, like what? That is wild to me.
And the thing is, I bet when you look at the other people that have won Best Actress,
all right,
I can guarantee,
with the exception of one,
I can guarantee you that they are mediocre. I'd say 90% of them are mediocre actresses.
And that goes kind of back to that conversation around how, you know, how much harder you have to work as a Black person to get half the credit or get half as far or whatever it may be. Right? There's something too that I was in, like, again, looking into this episode specifically. I read this article. It was an article published by The Guardian. On The Guardian, by Caitlin Greenridge. And there's all of these statistics, which I'm going to read out. They're not going to be surprising per se, but I think it's still kind of jolting, I guess. So I'm going to read these out just one by one, and we'll just, you know, take it for what it is. But dark-skinned women are less likely to be married than lighter-skinned women.
Oh.
The difference in pay rates between dark-skinned and lighter-skinned men mirrors the differences in pay between whites and Blacks.
Wow.
Darker-skinned women are given longer prison sentences than their lighter-skinned counterparts. The discrimination does start young, because if you're a dark-skinned girl, you are 3 times more likely to be suspended from school than your light-skinned peers. Colorism, it even affects how we're remembered, because lighter-skinned Black people are perceived to be more intelligent. Educated Black people, regardless of their actual skin color, are remembered by job interviews as having lighter skin.
Wow.
And this should go without saying, but darker-skinned people report higher experiences of microaggressions, with heavier-set dark-skinned men reporting the highest level of microaggressions.
Wow.
All of this is to say, you could just imagine what that does to one's mental health and well-being.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a toll, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, that's a lot that I just read out there. Like, that's kind of what we're up against in a lot of ways.
Yeah. It's like the racism gets it's like magnified the darker you are.
Yes.
Which is so fucked up.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense at all. It makes
no sense. I was going to ask, like, how do you think colorism and based off of the stats I just read, how do you think it impacts women differently than it does men?
Okay. So I feel like the feature of darkness or blackness or like dark skin or whatever, and even maybe dark hair, like dark features in general, I feel like a lot, like society kind of attributes that to more like masculinity.
Sure.
And then lighter features are more attributed to like femininity. So I feel like with men, sometimes with that specific like ideology, I feel like sometimes it works in their favor because they're seen as more masculine. But then that also means that the like dark-skinned black women in general, but like especially dark-skinned black women are seen also as more masculine, which means then like again microaggressions galore. Like I'm not gonna hold the door open for you because you good, and I'm gonna watch you carry those 3 bags down the stairs because you good, you're fine, you can do it.
Interesting. Oh, that's so true. That's very interesting. And I think to build on that, it also comes down to desirability. Like how, as you just said, but dark-skinned men, you know, with dark-skinned men have their own internalized colorist issues. Like we have seen this, talked about this, addressed this a million times between the two of us just in conversation. And there's also a defensiveness from light-skinned women about like being, it's, you know, about dark-skinned women. Like, it's not my fault. Like, it's, you
like
know,
the dark skin, the dark skin are mean to me. They used to make fun of me. Amber Rose.
You know, so even that part of it as well, it's like that desirability around it. You just said dark-skinned men being deemed as more, what's the word you used?
Masculine.
Masculine, yeah. It's just like, and depending on the desirability chart, they're like, who's looking at that and who wants that? That's what they're going to go for. And there's something to be said about that. And there's a lot of interesting ground to cover within that as well. You know, like it's just, what does that mean? And how does that shape the way that Black people interact with Black people as well?
Oof.
You know, like that right there is really like...
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Hit me.
this is the thing. So there's a thing amongst, and this is just me, like what I've noticed by looking and observing and like seeing the world through my eyes. I find that a lot of dark-skinned men will be, and I'm talking like regular ass people, like I'm not talking about celebrities because they're on a whole different fucking...
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're on a whole different level.
Absolutely.
Regular people. Dark-skinned men, I feel like, tend to end up with lighter-skinned women. And that is a pair that's portrayed a lot on TV. Like when you see a Black couple, 99.99% of the time, the woman is going to be lighter than the man.
Yep.
And then the male children, if they have them, are going to be darker than the like female children.
Yep.
I don't know why they will do a thing where they're like, these 2 Black people had a baby and the baby came out mixed. And I'm like, what? Because it's a girl, came out mixed. And it's like, what? Yeah, so that's a thing. But then I also noticed that a lot, like, again, in regular people just in life, and maybe that's just here, I don't know, but I see a lot of lighter skinned men with darker skinned women.
Okay.
To a certain extent.
Sure.
But then at the same time, it's like when you look at like the media and you look at celebrities and you look at all of that, it's like everybody's with like every Black guy is with some light-skinned girl. Like 99% of them are with someone who is either not Black, someone who's either half Black, or someone who's just very, very light-skinned. And it's like, it's interesting because there is some type of like fetishization of light-skinned women that like Black men have. And like that whole
Yes.
gross thing about like, oh, like they with their like light skinned babies or whatever, and they want to have like I just, that is so gross to me. But yeah, and I'm thinking about Chris Brown. I'm just gonna say that because
well, I don't.
But you see what I'm saying? Where it's like Chris
I know
Brown,
exactly what you're saying.
It's weird as fuck because Chris Brown's daughter came out looking exactly like a child version of the type of women that he goes for. Because that baby looked like Karuchi.
The cooch, yeah.
That baby looked like the
yes. Is that his baby mama? No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's some
yeah.
white girl.
But I know,
like
okay.
Gangster.
Gotcha.
She has a tattoo on her neck. That's why I say that. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like that's a thing that I hear a lot amongst the Black male celebrities that are in music anyways.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot. And it's like I'm still kind of, to me, I'm like, so why are you like, especially the ones that are already light skinned, I'm like, so you're just trying to dilute. To what end?
And then
to what end?
There's, to your point though, about how in a lot of television and films or whatnot, you have Black men with light skinned partners. It's like, if you don't see yourself being represented, or if you don't mirror yourself in celebrity or television or whatever it is, like if you only see one version of that, then well, that'll affect the way that you perceive yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And
others.
Affect and others. That's right. And good one. And affect that desirability thing that we were just talking about as well, because it's like, oh, well, I loved this movie when I was a kid, or I looked up to this person when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And there was so and so. So there's just so many different facets to this as well. And,
and like as a child, like you can imagine like being a little dark skinned girl and watching TV, and it's like because it's 2020, finally you get some TV shows where like the star and most of the characters are Black people, but
Insecure.
Exactly. No, not that one. That's not a good example for what I'm trying to say.
Oh, my bad. I just thought we were just
and when I say little Black girl,
let me let you finish. Like, I guess I just get excited.
When I say little Black, I mean like a child, like, you know.
Got you.
Kids are watching Insecure. If your kids are watching Insecure, like, you need to watch a kid.
Just wait.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, let's say something like, I can't even think of any kid shows right now. But, Proud Family.
Oh, look at
us. Okay, same brainwaves. Okay, so Proud Family. Yeah. You're a little Black girl watching Proud Family. You see Penny Proud. She's very light-skinned. Penny's mom, also very light-skinned. Penny's dad, dark-skinned. You see Penny's best friend, Dejanay. She is dark-skinned. You see the Gross sisters. They are bluish purple because they are apparently dark-skinned, ashy sisters. Okay? Like, that's what that color is. It's ash. They ashy. So, like, as a young child watching that, and you see the way that Dejanay is treated compared to the way that Penny is treated. Dejanay being the dark-skinned friend, and Penny being the light-skinned, like, main character. And it's like, if you are watching that as a dark-skinned girl, subconsciously you're gonna look for that in society. Not, I don't want to say look for, but you're gonna notice it in society as well. So you're gonna notice it amongst your friends, you're gonna notice it amongst your family, you're gonna notice it anywhere that it happens to pop up. You're gonna notice that, like, oh, this dark-skinned person was treated worse than this light-skinned person. And like, that's going to then work negatively on your, like, self-love and self-acceptance and just the way that your confidence in general. And then it puts you at a place where you're like, you feel like undesirable. You feel like you like you don't deserve to be treated like some of the other light-skinned people that you see or whatever. Like it I feel like it puts a lot on, like, it puts a lot on kids to work through. It's like it's like a trauma that you're gonna have to work through that eventually in life, and it'd be
And
really cool if you just
especially,
didn't like have
absolutely,
to
and
go through it
especially
in the first
majority
place.
white spaces as well,
Exactly,
right? And then
exactly.
there unfortunately is not the there's almost not the support system readily available for these young Black kids going
Yeah,
through that,
yeah.
especially, and again, as I said, in a majority white space. And I was actually reading this article that was talking about ways in which teachers can help, almost, or like ways in which teachers can more or less just be better or understand
Yeah.
colorism in their students. And it was a good article. We're not going to touch on it here, but I'm going to attach it to the show notes still, so that people, I have a lot of teacher friends, and I think maybe teachers that are listening, I just think there's something worth reading in that article. Like, it's because, I mean, think of how much time kids be spending at school. Maybe not this year, but in general,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
true.
I will attach that. But I liked what you said about that's a lot for a child to really work through, and honestly, for the most time, on their own.
Exactly.
Like, they
Yeah.
have to process that on their own, and
Yeah.
that's very unfair to me. Like, it makes me sad.
It
But
is. It
yeah,
is.
yeah, it's
And
just kind
it's
of like,
like, I don't know how have, like, with you specifically, how has colorism like affected you specifically as a man
yeah, you
in
know what?
Alberta?
It's in Alberta. No, it's first and foremost, you lead with your Blackness. I have
Yeah.
never entered a room or a space or a gathering or whatever it may be without understanding that I am Black. Like, that is first and foremost. That's how I approach things. And because, like, of the way Blackness is perceived amongst society, I find that my defense mechanism almost is to be, friendly and nice and, all of these things. And it's not to say that that's not a facet of who I am. Don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I like me, but like, it's just like there's a part of it that is just like, I have to understand that in order to navigate through this world and through these rooms and through these halls and through these things in life, and in order to protect myself, that's a bit of a defense mechanism for me, And there's been times, and we have spoken about this, there's been times when we've walked into rooms and just been like, oh yeah, here we go again, And it's a part of me is so used to it that I don't even necessarily clock it much anymore. The
Yeah.
one thing I will say, though, the older I've gotten, the one thing I will say is I realized quickly that even though, like, there's some spaces that are just not for me.
Yeah.
And I've witnessed that when I've, like, been at, like, I've just been at a space, or like not a party, I guess a party situation, and just been like, this isn't for me. It's not that I don't feel safe per se,
Yeah.
but it's not that I'm like so uncomfortable, but I just know it's not for me, and therefore I'd rather be in a space where I'm comfortable, I'm happy, I'm amongst people that make me feel. And I'm going to go back to that word safe, because I'm backtracking a little bit because I don't want to admit it, but maybe I should just admit it.
Let it out.
But
Let it all out.
but it's like I just want to be in spaces that make me feel safe and approachable, And I've been with you when we've entered situations, and and just, I don't know, like, I just kind of feel like, thank God you're with me, like, thank God you're here, because
no, lots of the places that we have gone, I would not be there by myself.
No, oh my
all.
God, no,
like,
oh my
ever.
God, and
Ever.
and there's just that, I'm like, oh, thank God we're together at the very least, because I like to do that alone would have been very triggering, you know, or
Yeah.
very alarming
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, so I think that's how, like, you know, being a black man and being a dark-skinned black man and like
Mm-hmm.
has kind of affected the way that I approach social situations. As like
Mm-hmm.
happy-go-lucky as I am and whatnot, this, that, I still know that I've still got to protect myself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
be careful. I kid you not, the other day I was driving, I was in a neighborhood and a cop was going the opposite direction of me, like across the what are those things called, the middle things that divides the
Yeah.
roads, those
Yeah.
things. And I still flinched up, you know, like
Oh yeah.
I was like, whoa, like I don't like and here
I
I like my hands are on
yeah.
10 and 2. I am not, I'm minding my business. I'm bopping to probably Beyonce and I still flinched up, you know?
Absolutely. I literally every time I will see a cop stand. I'll be in my car driving, and I'll see a cop standing, just
Whew.
not even in the car, and I will still like
Yeah.
tense up and be like, "Oh shit!" Like
Yeah.
every time they just make
Yeah.
me
Every
uncomfortable. Like it just
time.
don't.
Yeah.
They just make me uncomfortable, and
I
I
know there
know
are
that
rules. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
they like. I just feel like every experience that I've had, maybe not every, but most experience that I've had with cops have been negative. They
Mm.
have been like, they don't really come at you nice, you know, most of the time. And
Hmm.
I'm like, I always just, my first instinct is to just like shut my mouth and like not say much because I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't like, I don't know if it's like a deer in headlights type thing where I'm just like, I'm gonna just sit here
Hmm.
and let you give me my ticket or whatever, and like, or if it's like, I'm
Hmm.
not sure, but I always I remember going to the bank once. I was going to the bank to deposit some checks for work, and like there was a cop standing outside talking to some old man, and I literally sat in my car waiting because I was like, maybe he'll go away. Like, I need him to leave before I can go in there. Like, I'm not comfortable. And I sat in my car, and
Right.
then, like, at some point, I started to panic because I'm like, oh shit, now I look weird because I'm like a black person sitting in a black car in front of a bank. And
Oh.
I'm like, oh god, I'm just gonna go inside. I'm like, let me just go inside. And I, like, walked past him and, like, tried not to make eye contact and heard him talking some bullshit about coronavirus. And I was like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. Like, I was sweating, okay? And he literally was
Ay,
just
ay,
there
ay.
talking to some old man. Like,
Yep.
but still, I was like, your presence to me is already a threat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And oof. And with that being said, there's certain rules that don't apply to me, and I that's the way that I approach even the most generic and basic things. Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll be with like a white friend, and they'll like jaywalk, and I'll be like, I can't do that because
Yeah.
I might get ticketed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just know that there's not rules that are not afforded towards
Yeah.
me that I will like I. And it's so interesting. My brother, my sister, and I were talking about this not long ago. Just being like there's a reason we just abide by the
Yeah.
rules. It's because we don't want to get caught up in
Yeah.
trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, because listen, there's been countless innocent people that are
Oh,
not caught up in trouble
absolutely.
that end up in
Yeah.
situations. So it's that we're just trying to think of ways that, like, you know, like, why don't you jaywalk? And don't listen, I'm not out here like I have jaywalked time
I
and time
mean,
again,
yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, if it's actually funny because I'll usually do it by myself, but if I'm with a
Oh my
white
gosh, if
person,
I'm
I
with people,
won't
I
do
don't
it.
do that because this is the thing. This
Yeah.
is the thing with hanging. This is the thing with hanging out with white people. Okay, like they will just go about their lives
That's what. Mhm.
without any regard for the fact that you are a black person. And it's like, I almost
Mhm.
feel like it's like, I don't like, listen, forgive me, okay, but
Hmm.
like I feel like they'll almost do that thing where like, I don't even like, I forget you're black, I don't even see you as black. Like, it's not they're not like saying that, but they're like, because you are my friend, you are just on the same wavelength, same
That's
level,
right.
same, you're just the same as me.
Absolutely. And
And
it's
I'm
all
like,
out of love and
yeah,
respect,
of
yes.
course.
But
But I'm like, you
still,
need to
yes.
also understand that to the rest of the world, that's not what it looks like. Because the
That's
amount of
right.
times that I've heard stories and been in situations where it's like, there's a group of people getting in trouble, but the person that is that has the most focus on them
Oh, it breaks my
is
heart thinking
whichever
about
one
it.
is darkest. Like literally
absolutely.
that's what ends up happening. So I'm like, I don't even want to be around y'all if y'all gonna do some shit that is not legal. Like I don't even want to be in that area because I don't like. I know it's gonna be my ass in jail, and I don't know,
that's
like
right.
your parents or whoever.
That's right.
They're gonna like go easy on you or whatever, and I'm gonna get my ass beat.
Yeah.
Like I just don't.
That's
like
right.
I'm not willing to risk that, and like that's and it like really stems down to like when my mom, when I was younger, and like, you know, I'd be like acting up or whatever. My mom's like, "You're not Canadian, okay? You're African. Don't act like your little white friends, okay?" She's like, "You're not the same. Do not go act like your little white friends." And I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." And so yeah, I try not to act like, you know,
yeah, because
like,
you won't be treated the same,
exactly.
and that's all it comes down to.
That's what it is,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, I'm with you. How has colorism affected the way that you date?
Okay, so I'm gonna just give a little explanation about me and colorism and why I was like so hesitant to talk about this issue. I have very strong feelings about it, but also it's like okay, anyways, okay. So I I don't know what color I am. I know I'm black, okay? I don't know, because to me, I don't consider myself light-skinned. Okay? Like, I don't at all. I would consider myself on, like, the darker side of, like, brown skin or whatever the hell they want to, like, whatever middle section they've labeled that. I just, either way, I don't consider myself light-skinned. Okay? That being said, most of my family considers me as light-skinned.
I knew this was going. I did. I knew 1,000% where this was going. But I was like, let me let it talk. I'm gonna let it talk because I have opinions on this.
I would like to know your opinions because this is something I struggle with
on
a regular
light-skinned.
basis. Thank you.
You're not light. No.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry. No.
That's what I've been trying to say.
No.
Tell that to Clara.
No. And I know your family, and I love your family, and
Do you know how the way I was being roasted on the weekend? We were at the beach. We went to the lake, and and Joanna's like, "Why are you so light?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "What's wrong? Are you sick?
You were not light.
Are you sick?
You would get pulled over in the same way.
And this is what
that
when I think of light skin, I think and I think it's just because of how and where I grew up and the people that I grew up around. Is that to me, when I thought of light skin, I usually thought of like mixed people, like that were like half black and
yep.
Any like half black, half white, or half black, half some other lighter race. Like that's kind of what the like skin tone that I thought of when I think of light skin. So I never put myself in that category because I'm like, there's no question. No one's going to look at me and think I'm mixed with anything except more black. So, and I'm not.
Right.
So,
no question.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of where I struggled with that. And then also on top of that, being the only black kid in school forever. And then again, the one time that I did have another black person in the school, she was also mixed. So like just that situation, I was like, I never put myself in the light skin category. Other people have, and when I say other people, it's mostly just my family, to be honest. I think, I don't know. Nobody else has said anything. I don't know. But no, that's not true. I know of. Yo, that's not true. That's not true. And so the point of this is it has affected the way that I date. Because when and it was Clara that helped me realize that like the difference in like how different black people are treated based on their tone. Like I noticed it. I know that it's a thing, but I never, like, she was the one that like was like, okay, in this specific situation, when this and this happened, I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. And that's kind of when that she like kind of opened my eyes to it more so. And it was always a thing that made me uncomfortable, but I stopped dating guys that would comment on my skin tone. Like if I hear a guy say something about light skin, whatever, in like referring to me, I'm like, oh no, I don't like that.
I see.
Like I also, because I'm like, because I know the way that society is, and I think it sucks, and I think it's fucking stupid. So I like in my, I am very, I like, it's so weird to say, but I'm like, I like darker skinned people. Like I'm very attracted to darker skinned people. And like when I think about like the last several guys except for one, the last several guys I've dated were like, they were all like dark skinned except one. And like it's different with girls because it's just hard to find girls in general.
Yeah.
Like, black lesbians, like, where you at? Slide in my DMs. But yeah, but the first girl I ever dated, she was also dark skinned, so like yeah. But it's like because I'm like, my seeing the way that the world is has made me just very adamant about going against the grain. And like, so like even my niece and nephews, I'm like, I will always tell them in the summertime, I'm like, yes, I'm like, you look all nice and like toasty, like so beautiful, it's nice, gorgeous. Like I always, I try to like hype that in my family.
Absolutely.
And like even when I was younger, I used to do that because I noticed that I was like the lightest one in the family, and I didn't like that. So I'd like go play in the sun, and again, like everyone would be like, my mom and my aunties would be like, "You're gonna get dark," and I'm like, "Yes, let me." But like, but like when I'm honestly not like, when I think about dating, it depends. Okay, this is the thing. When I think about when I look at dating, I look at one type of person, not one type, but like I look at a specific type of person. And then when I think of like marriage and like kids, even, I'm in a whole nother like plane. Because when I think of kids, if I were to have kids with somebody, I'm going to have, like, I'm not gonna have kids with a light skinned nigga. Like, I'm not.
Right.
Like, it's very unlikely that I would do that. Because I don't, like, I don't know. It's just a personal choice that I have.
You don't see it a lot. You don't see it like happening for you, or you don't see it.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, it's just because I don't see when I imagine like me. If I imagine like me with my kids are dark skinned. Like they're not like light little. Like they're not So I just that's a thing that I kind of. I feel like I almost like I consciously made that decision, but it's also like low key very subconscious, just because of like just I don't know, me and like my rebellion and just not wanting to like if something in the society is stupid, I will go against it. Absolutely.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I hear that.
Has it affected the way you date?
Only in the way that, back to what I was saying about how you're black first.
Yeah.
So, okay. So yes and no, because to me it comes down to desirability, because you will see on people's profiles like, looking for, black only, and I'm talking from like white people, white guys, like
really,
black only, whatever.
That's a thing?
Yeah. But the hard thing is, it's not. I've never felt it to be anything other than like fetishization.
Yeah.
I've never in my life felt it to be anything other than that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's hard for me. And me personally, I'm not gonna be out here speaking for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but me personally, that's not really what I'm built for, or what I'm looking for, or
Mm-hmm.
what I don't want to be your experiment. I don't want to
Yeah.
be your
Mm-hmm.
your little test run.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. It's not me. I no, that ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
So but it's affected me in the way that when I think about how the ratio exists, even specifically here to Alberta, it's like, I remember this is years ago, years and years and years and years ago. It would have been I can't, like 23, maybe 23, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was seeing this guy, and two of my friends were like having lunch, and they're like, oh, like, how's it going? This, that. And then they're like, so, like, how would your family feel about you dating a white person? And it took me a minute to, like, I was like, what a question. So it took me a minute, and then I was just like, no. The
Why do
question is, how
people
would they
ask
feel?
that? I've been asked that so many times. You know how many times white people ask me
Right?
that? Or like, oh, do your
But the
parents
question is,
know?
how would they feel about them dating a black person?
That's
Look,
the
I'm
more
surrounded by
important.
whiteness.
That
That's the
is the
way more
more
important
important
question.
question, because never are you gonna see a black person married to a white person and the black person's family being violent or like terrible
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
this white person or to
Mm-hmm.
these little mixed kids. You don't
Mm-hmm.
see that. That's so
Nope,
rare.
you don't.
What you see a lot
Mm-mm.
is your white ass grandma calling
The
your
N
child a nigga.
word.
Like
Yeah, like, yeah,
that's what you
totally.
see more often. So I don't
Yeah.
understand why that question is
So
even asked. I feel like it's just like white people trying to be oppressed. I'm like,
and it's like, I don't know why that question is reserved for me, because as you just explained, it's just like that's not for me. In fact, like, look around. Like, we are neighbors with white people. We go to
yeah,
work with white people. We go to
we
the
have to
school with
accept you.
white
We have
people.
no choice.
We understand that is our norm and our round, that we're around all the
Mm-hmm.
time. So the question is not how my family would react. The question is, how would their family
Yeah,
react, and to put that
exactly.
on them. And so in that way, it's definitely affected the way that I date, because I don't have the luxury of just like going on a date and just being like, oh, that was nice, and hopefully there'll be a second one. It's like, I gotta think, like,
I don't
like, how
even
was,
like
like,
again. I mean, no, I've mentioned it already before.
mm-hmm,
I don't
mm-hmm, go ahead.
really I don't really date white people anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it is a lot of it is for that reason, because it's like being black and dating a white person, being black and honestly even just dating outside your race in general, you are to some extent, like, if you actually want to build something with this person, you're to some extent putting yourself in danger. Like, there's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be potential danger there, because even no matter
Mm-hmm.
how, I always say, no matter how normal and like non-racist this white person you happen to be with is, they will always have family members, they will always have friends. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't know how racist your family members are until they're in a situation where they are given the opportunity to be racist. And I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
give them that opportunity and find out then. Like,
Mm-hmm. You
I've
gotta
done
protect
that. I've
yourself.
done that before.
Yep. Yeah, you learned the hard way,
I
right?
learned the hard way, and I was like, ooh, that was not a fun experience. And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
from the experience that I had, and again, it's like usually like subtle shit, but like from the experience that I had, it then made me think about the experience my children would have and how that would affect
Mm-hmm.
them, and how they'd have to unlearn all this shit that was like put in them by their, like, white grandparents or whatever, or white cousins or
Mm-hmm.
whoever, right? Like, it's just, I feel like I'd have to be so, like, I remember at one point when I was dating a guy, and I thought, like, I literally, I thought he was the one. And I remember telling my sisters, I'm like, listen, if we get married and have kids, I need you to like every single thing that you buy my child ever needs to be like black centered. Every single thing.
Did you grow up with black Barbies and black toys?
No.
Because they weren't available.
No. Where were they? Where were they in the
Yeah,
early
right.
90s?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no, I didn't. I don't think I've ever
yeah.
had a black Barbie. I think I've had some black
Well, they're pretty
dolls.
new.
They are, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I never had one. But I had like
even
a black
around.
Cabbage Patch doll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the Black Barbies are, I feel like they're within the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's even funny, like Christmases, my mom would always try to find a black Jesus to put on the Christmas
Oh.
tree. And they were so hard to come
Yeah.
by though. You know what I
Listen,
mean? Like, and
I
like
feel like still
it's just
until
these,
today, like it's hard. You're not just gonna go to Walmart and find Black Jesus sitting there. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not. You need to order that shit online.
Right? Oh, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. But yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover here. But I was just, before we kind of wrap things up, I'm gonna give a little bit of a history lesson here on what of how far colorism goes back.
All right.
And this is what I learned in my research. So colorism goes back as far back as slavery in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So in the US, unlike in any other systems of slavery or in any other time periods, to be a slave meant you were legally a non-person, which we know.
Mm-hmm.
So you were unable to enter into legal contracts like marriage or land ownership and not considered a citizen by law.
Mm-hmm.
And then whiteness meant that blackness meant a person was property.
Mm-hmm.
So slavery was inherited, and whether or not you were considered a slave was dependent on the status of your mother.
Oh, okay.
So this system ensures,
okay.
right? Are you following
Yeah.
me? So the system ensures that white male slave owners who had children with black women, that the enslaved contributed to their own wealth.
Wow.
Yeah, so under the system, like proximity to whiteness could increase your chances of freedom. So if you had a white father, or if more importantly, if you looked white,
Yeah.
the easier it was for you to potentially claim some sort of freedom. So there's so many layers to this, and this is,
Mm-hmm.
we're not just talking about colorism because it's like, a topic of discussion today. It's like, this is a thing that impacts social status and socioeconomic status, and it dates back, and we're still very far away from having it removed from our day-to-days. And yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah,
it's a trip.
Yeah. I feel like, okay, so when I think of colorism, I feel like it is adjacent to anti-blackness, because I feel like that's kind of what it all stems down to, because it exists, like colorism and anti-blackness both exist in every race, every like culture. So like, again, it's like even with like the show with like Indian matchmaking, it's like they'd be like, oh, somebody who's like 5'5" and fair, and like fair meaning like light skin, like fair skin tone, and these are people that are also like of darker skin tone, and I'm like, that's a weird specification to give when you're like looking for us. Like, to me, it's like I feel like it's so weird to me, because I'm like, for me, I wouldn't be like, if I was on that show, I would not be like, oh, I'd like somebody that's like, medium skin tone. I'd be find me a nigga. Like, I'm like, find me someone black, preferably black, but like,
oh my god,
just like black. African would be nice.
1,000%.
But either way, they must find me someone black.
1,000%.
And it wasn't like, oh, I want an Indian girl. They're just like, I want someone fair. And I'm like, what would happen? What would happen if they show up with like some white girl? Because they are the fairest of them all, right? Oof. Like, I just don't. It's just it's such a weird characteristic. Like, I get it, because I get how like society works and everything, but it's just so dumb. Like, it's just really.
It's just
because I'm like, what?
Come on.
And it's like everybody. It's weird, because I'm like, as much as every race has this like anti-blackness and this colorism, all of the races that are not considered white are like not the biggest fans of white people. Yet we're out here trying to increase our proximity to whiteness by engaging in anti-blackness and colorism. And I'm like,
The
why
irony
are
of it
you
all.
trying to be more like what you dislike? And that's no offense to white people,
No,
but like,
I hear that.
just
Yeah.
I'm talking about whiteness as a whole, whiteness as like a construct.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
it comes along with light skin. And it's like,
Yeah.
why are you? Because for me personally, that's part of the reason why I'm like, nah. Like I will. I've been out in the sun. Okay, I've been trying to, you know, like I'm trying to get like that like deep tan that'll last through the winter. Like because I'm like, I don't want to be like that closely associated. I don't want my identity to be that closely associated with whiteness, because from what I know about whiteness, it's evil. Like it's literally evil. Y'all want to talk about black whatever, black magic, black sheep and shit, but whiteness as a construct is evil.
Well, white supremacy is what we're up against, right?
Exactly. Whiteness is what made white
structure,
supremacy.
that's the unit,
Whiteness is what made
the...
chattel slavery. Whiteness is
Yes.
what made like all of this systemic racism. Whiteness is what created that and what created this system to be built up against people of darker skin tones. So like I understand wanting to get ahead because of like wanting to get thinking you can get ahead because you're lighter, but I don't, because I'm just so like against the whole construct of whiteness. I'm like, I can't allow that of myself. Like I just, why? Like why would I want that?
Yeah.
Because I feel like instead of me trying to fit into this system, why not just fight to change it?
That's right. That's what we're out here trying to do.
Yeah, because I'm just...
That's what we're out here trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I'm going to leave it on a very important note. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Hey! The darker the... Wait.
The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Deeper the wounds. What's the... Beyonce says a thing in the song.
Oh, she does.
Like,
she does.
I'm trying to figure out what the...
Oh, God, what is it?
It's like darker the berry.
We'll find it.
The
You know what?
juice.
Also, by the way, before we go, real
deeper
quick,
the,
I know we gotta
or
wrap
something,
up.
something, the deeper the roots or something. Anyways, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, before we wrap up, there's something we didn't touch on, and I don't feel like we can't pull over right now. So we're just gonna keep coasting. But the Beyonce Kelly Rowland situation, right? Like,
ooh, yeah,
that's a facet of this which is interesting in that, you know, everybody knows how much we love Beyonce, appreciate Beyonce. Like she is king.
There's something else.
But the difference.
But it's fine. No, continue. We'll get back to it after.
But when you look at how Kelly Rowland was treated, and even arguably Michelle Williams as well, in the media, in relation to Beyonce, there's a conversation that's worth having there.
Absolutely.
And what that conversation is Beyonce is a light-skinned Black woman.
Yeah.
And the way that she was able to access, you know, opportunities and break down doors and, you know, break glass ceilings is because of her access to these rooms and these spaces. And thank God she's done amazing things with that.
Remember when white people didn't know she was Black?
Yes, the SNL skit. The SNL skit will forever be the pinnacle. The pinnacle moment of just like... Oh, I love and that one.
Just like a quick little segue. Beyonce being light skinned and then Beyonce being so pro-Black. I feel like that's a thing that sometimes light skinned people have to do in order to like, pretty much in order to like prove that they're not like buying into this system or this ideology. And like another person that is like, I think of Amanda Seales, who's very light-skinned, but she's also like, she will not stop caping for all things Black ever. Like she's loud. Like I feel like the louder, I feel like most of the loudest people that are like out here like fighting for, or like that are pro-black, a lot of them are light-skinned because I feel like they almost feel like they have to like put in that extra effort to like.
But they also have access
And
because
that's the
of
thing,
the
yeah.
said light skin,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
that's we in a weird roundabout way where we're kind of closing it out to say like, yeah, that's. But they're using that access for the greater good and hopefully to stop
But
this
it's funny
demonization
because
of.
sometimes it's like they will, because they're so pro-black, they'll get just shoved right out of that room that they were welcomed into.
That's right.
Like, one album,
That's
2 albums ago.
Yeah, but
You know?
at least they got that foot in the door.
That's the thing, because people
But
are paying
you're right.
attention. So
You're
it's like
right.
you saw
Yes,
what I was
that's true.
saying.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, no, all due respect. But huge conversation, always ongoing conversation.
Yeah.
I know we're going to keep this conversation flowing on and off the mic in different topics as they pertain to us. But we're going to take a break and we're going to come back with our pop culture roundup.
All right. Oh, that's what we're calling it? Okay.
And we are back.
And queer and black. I practiced in my head.
Yes, you did.
I practiced in my head before.
That was so smooth, the way that it came out.
Thank you. I tried. I really did try.
So we are back with our pop culture roundup. Again, name still pending.
Okay.
I did get a suggestion.
Did you? What was it?
Yes.
Do I like it? What is it? Do you like it?
I'm still deciding.
Okay.
I'm still deciding. So this
also...
comes from the Kenneth Davey. He suggested pop culture period, and I was like, okay. I kind of like that.
Okay, I like the idea. Yeah.
Right, and that's because I was like, it's a period of time where we talk for 5 minutes, but
yeah.
Actually, there's no but. I don't know. I need it to resonate with my soul. I want it to like. But I love that he came with something. So
I mean, because Kenny's a real one.
He's a real one.
Yeah,
he's a real one.
Realist.
So yes, if y'all again, please continue to. Ideas, pop culture. What did we say last week again? I can't even remember.
Pop culture with the quickness. I've also thought of pop culture combo, quick culture combo.
Hey. Quick pop culture convo. Is that what you just said?
What? Quick? No, I just said quick culture combo.
Quick culture combo.
Yeah.
Convo, sorry. Convo.
Convo, yeah.
Culture convo.
Pop.
I'm kind of into that.
Piece. Pop.
And what I liked about the period though was it puts a full stop to it.
Yeah,
it's just
like period. Like
yeah.
That's what I liked about it too. Yeah.
I know. But
can we just call pop period? Pop period.
Pop period. I think we just came up with one. Pop period.
Pop period. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. For analysis.
I kind of like it.
I like it too.
Pop period.
Pop
okay,
period.
Let's do it. Pop period. Welcome to Pop Period, y'all.
Oh, I like it.
Where we come at you with some pop culture stories from the past week. We have 5 minutes to discuss said topics. I'm going to set the story up, kind of give some background on said story. Again, once that buzzer goes off, it is over. And we've done pretty good, actually. We have done pretty good. Yeah. We don't go over.
I cheated a little bit last time, but it was just a little bit.
But it was you needed to put the bow on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that made sense. Sense. But so let's get into it.
All right.
This past week or this weekend, it was announced that Brandy and Monica would be going head to head in a hits battle put on by Verzus. Now, for those of you who don't know what Verzus is, it began at the beginning of when we were all locked in the house, and two artists of like similar genres or similar backgrounds or similar music styles would go head to head via Instagram Live and play a record of their own back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then a winner would kind of be declared by like social media, really. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think the goal was like for
An actual
either artist
competition.
yeah, but I think the idea was just like, oh, so and so washed that person, or oh,
Yeah.
so and so cleaned that person out, whatever.
Yeah.
So Brandy and Monica, we all know the history.
Oof.
We all know the history. That's a
Mm-hmm.
battle that has been begged for by fans of each artist for months, and it is now coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, questions are, will we be watching? And who do we think is going to take it between Brandy and Monica? And our time starts now.
Okay, okay. No, go ahead.
Okay,
So much to
so
say.
I'm watching. Like, I'm
Okay,
for
yeah.
sure and I haven't watched one yet. Like, I watched the Alicia Keys and John Legend one.
Yeah.
With my brother and my sister, and I watched. Oh no, actually, I haven't seen any other ones live. They are a little long for me, but I will be watching this one if I'm available. Like, I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
set time aside, but like
Yeah,
if
that's the
I'm like
thing.
sitting on my phone at whatever time it's on the 31st, I'm doing
Yeah.
it. Who do I think is gonna genuinely win?
Ooh, yes.
Off the top of my head, off
Say
the
it.
top
Ooh,
of
oh
my
my gosh.
head, I listen, and I love them
Oh my
both.
gosh, we're
Okay,
gonna
I
fight. We're about
love.
to fight. I can feel it.
I genuinely love them both, but I feel like Brandy's gonna take it.
Ooh, okay, hear me
I
out. Listen.
do.
No,
I do.
quiet. Listen to me for a
Okay,
second. Okay,
hit me.
let
Hit
me
me.
speak my piece. Okay, I am but maybe gonna watch again if I'm on my phone at the time and I see the notification or whatever. I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
click on it. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I do low key like. I really would like to actually just sit and watch, but it's just like with my schedule, it's unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I again love them both. Maybe I don't think it's unpopular opinion, but like I find a lot of people are like, yeah, Brandy, and it's like I have always from childhood, I've been always Team Monica.
Mm.
I love Brandy. I absolutely love her.
Same.
But I
I'm
feel
with
like
you. Yeah, Monica's
I'm
just so nice. Like, she's just such a
She
she's
literally
such
punched Brandy in the fucking face before going on stage, and you're like, she's just so sweet.
she's so... Okay, sorry. Monica's so fake. No, I'm kidding. Okay, okay. No, I'm kidding. But
Wow.
there is something about like, okay, I feel like, okay, I agree with you. Like, I feel like when I think about the catalogs back to back, I liked Monica's way more, like just
Mm-hmm.
discography wise. I haven't even listened to the last Brandy album, and I'm not gonna. Like, it's just not for me. Like,
Wow.
it's
How do you know
I'm
that?
not. I've listened to 2 songs, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
like, um, okay. But real quick, I'm thinking off the top of my head, like, I'm gonna try to compare some of their like the biggest hits back to back, and you tell me one or the other. Who do you think would take it if these 2 songs were playing? Okay.
Okay, can I just say something real quick about
Yeah. Of
both of
course.
them?
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
feel like Brandy started, like, I feel like most of Brandy's music that came out way back when was good. And then I feel like she started to fall off. And then Monica kind of kept going and going. And she was, like, coming up with things into the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And, like,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
like, I
how
feel like
I
she had more
feel.
longevity in
That's
her,
yeah.
yeah.
I
But,
agree, but I feel like Brandy's gonna play on that older stuff.
mm-hmm.
And it's gonna get that nostalgia. It's gonna get everybody like, oh, I forgot about this song, and oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
love
true.
this song. And but real quick, I don't even know how much time we have left, but Have You Ever or Angel of Mine?
Angel of Mine.
Ooh, sitting up in my room, or For You I Will.
Sitting up in my room.
Bob. I Want to Be Down, or So Gone.
Ah, So Gone.
Oh, I love So Gone. Full Moon or Don't Take It Personal?
Don't take it personal because I can't remember how Full Moon goes.
I don't really want to dance. I don't really want to dance.
Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal.
What About Us or You Should Have Known Better?
You should have known better. It's not even a
Oh,
question.
that's a classic Monica. Oh, I love
You
that
should have
song.
known better than
Better
to
than to
think I
take
was
back.
me. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Should have
so
known better than to
good.
watch me. These are newer ones. Talk About Our Love or Every Time the Beat Drop.
Do I know either of those songs?
Talk About Our Love is the one, Brandy with Kanye. Da, 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 da,
Okay.
da, da.
And then
And
the
then every
other
time
one
the beat
is
drop was, ooh, all the ladies in the club grab a do with them franchise boys.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, I know I'm gonna have to go with the Monica with that one.
Yeah, I
And
feel that one.
do you see what I'm saying though? Like, do you see what I'm saying? With
I
like
hear
most of
you.
these
Oh,
songs are like
1000%. 1000%.
Monica just kept coming out with the hits.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Consistency.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
with Brandy, you're like, I'm not gonna listen to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when she was good, she was good.
Oh,
Okay.
she was good.
So good.
She was good. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Are we beefing right
Okay.
now? Are we gonna
No,
beef?
no, no, no. I am just thinking.
Because if you
Okay,
want to beef,
no. This is, believe me, this is a follow-up question. But we got to be quick because we did wrap up the 5 minutes. But we got to be quick. So I was listening to this other podcast, Las Culturistas, and they were talking about like their 300 culture moments of whatever of the last 200 episodes or something like that, whatever. And there are 200 greatest pop or culture moments of all time, and they talked about The Boy's Mind. And they had asked the question of where do you think Brandy and Monica were when they had that conversation to the prelude of the song? Like, hello, can I please talk to you for a minute? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So like, they were like, where do you think they were? And then I was with a few friends like weeks ago, and we were all talking about that, and like it was funny to think. I've never thought about that question. Like, where do I think they were? So where do you think they were when one addressed the other?
What do you mean by that?
I'm gonna tell you my answer, and then you tell
okay.
you vibe off of me. So my answer to that question is, so Brandy starts off, hello, can I please talk to you for a minute? And then Monica goes, yeah, sure, what's up? So Monica is checking into a hotel, okay?
Okay.
Brandy sees Monica, and she's like, oh, that's that girl. She's with a friend, and she's like, girl, don't say anything. And she's like, no, I gotta say something. So she walks up to her. It's a hotel lobby, it's happy hour.
Okay.
So she's like, hey, can I please talk to you for a minute? And then Brennan goes, yeah, sure, what's up? And they have this conversation, the prelude to the song, in a hotel lobby. Because they were both going up to meet the man.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
In my mind, that's what's happening.
Okay, so
because I thought they were on the phone, but
same. Like,
yeah,
I'm like, what do you mean? They were at home in their home?
I know, me too. That's what I thought.
One was on one side of the wall, and the other was on the other side of the wall.
But when I dug a little bit deeper, I was like, there was some hotel lobby for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. What do you think?
I can't think of anything else besides like on one side of the wall and the other. So I'm gonna just have to agree with you because I like that.
Thank you. So we've established.
Yeah, they were definitely in a hotel. Yeah.
1000%.
And they were going to confront him. Ooh, and they were going to confront him, but then they like saw each other. And then when they saw each other, it's like that like anger kind of like went down because their ego kind of built up, and then they were like now they're butting heads instead of butting his head. Which is what they should have done. Ooh, the mess.
Yes, the mess of it all. The mess of it all.
Oh, Usher.
I love to hear it. I love to hear
Wasn't it about Usher?
Was it actually?
That's what I always thought. When I was younger,
I had no idea. I
always thought it was about Usher.
Idea. Listen, I know we are past the 5 minutes, but I'm Googling this right now.
I Google it. Yeah, let me know.
Was The Boy's Mind about Usher? Okay. Monica reveals the real story behind her The Boy's Mind feud. Oh my God. It was about, I feel like they'll never admit it.
I don't feel like they wouldn't either, but I just remember that going around.
Yeah, I can see that though.
Hmm.
So this
Because he was
article
like the
tells me
like
nothing.
hot R&B.
Yeah.
He was the hot R&B guy at the time, right?
Yeah. Wow, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna dig into this and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Um, but next up, I've only got
Mm.
two this week, so
Okay.
we'll be able to wrap this up. But next up, on July 12th of this year, our girl Megan Thee Stallion, we love
Mm-hmm.
her. Congratulations on the #1 single for the second week in a row with Cardi B for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Megan Thee Stallion was involved in a shooting after an outing with Canadian singer-rapper Tory Lanez. She was shot in both of her feet. Since the night of the shooting, there's been a ton of speculation surrounding the altercation. And after weeks of radio silence from major hip hop players and artists and a bunch of distasteful jokes about Megan at her
Mm.
expense, she confirmed in an Instagram live last week that she was actually shot by Tory Lanez himself.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, we're thankful she's alive and well enough to tell her story. But the
Yeah.
question is, why aren't more people talking about it? What
Mm-hmm.
is this disdain that people and celebrities have on
Oof.
Black women? And then would the public outrage be the same had the roles been reversed? And our time starts now.
Okay, so I don't really understand why people hate to see Black women happy or like living their
Mm-hmm.
lives and minding their business. I'm still trying to understand what the fuck that is. Leave us the fuck alone. Leave us the
Mm-hmm.
fuck alone. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand what that is. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with Black men, it's again one of those things where it's like there's only so many people they can punch down to, and we are the easiest to reach.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I feel like if the roles were reversed, absolutely there'd be more people talking about it, and more people would be going off, and people would be coming for Megan's neck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not me,
Mm-hmm.
but because I'm like, because
Get him.
honestly, I'm like, well, like. I'm like, I'm gonna act just like some of these niggas on Twitter where it's like, well, what did he
Mm-hmm.
do? What did he do? He must have
Mm-hmm.
done something because, like, I feel like, and again, it's like men and their ego and short men and their egos. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, and like, it's very
It's
irritating
so
to me.
frustrating.
It's
It's so
very
frustrating. And
irritating.
I don't know, we've had this conversation again on this podcast and, in personal talk
Mm-hmm.
about how frustrating it is for the fact that Black women keep riding for everybody else
Yeah.
and aren't awarded the same respect in return. And this is a fine example of that in a
Yeah.
very public setting, obviously. I don't know how much obvious, like the girl got shot in her
Mm-hmm.
feet
Yeah.
and she was made fun of. She
Yeah.
was, made into memes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand how much this isn't made up. This conversation we're having around treatment of Black women is not complaining. It's not pouting. It's not
No, it's
fake. This
literal
is a very
fact.
real thing.
Yeah.
And it's enough, y'all. Like, enough, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
Again,
why do
as you said,
you?
why is it so hard to see Black women happy and
Yeah.
Black
Like,
women
what is it
thrive and Black
about
women be
that
successful?
that makes you angry?
Uh,
Like, why?
ay,
Why?
ay,
And
ay.
even like with the whole like WAP thing, like that, where I'm like, why? Why are you so comfortable with like men talking about pussy and talking about all the things they want to do to pussy and how they want to fucking destroy it? But when a woman talks
Mm-hmm,
about her own pussy, that's hers. She
mm-hmm,
owns it. It's
mm-hmm,
attached to her.
mm-hmm,
All of a sudden, you mad? Like, what is
mm-hmm,
that?
mm-hmm.
What the
I
fuck is
don't
that?
know. I don't know. It's misogyny at its finest, obviously. And
Honestly,
it's like but it's I don't it just like it just doesn't there's no situation, it just doesn't add up to me. Because
yeah.
there's nothing let me speak from the perspective of a Black man. There
Mm-hmm.
is nothing you could tell me to convince me that Megan deserved any of that between the shooting itself and
Yeah.
the outcome of the shooting. There's
Yeah.
nothing you could tell me that would like I would be like,
Like,
no, like
in what situation what could I possibly say to you to make you shoot at
That's
me,
what
or
I'm
in my direction?
saying. Like,
Because
I
especially
don't
when I'm
understand.
leaving, when I'm not in your face, I'm not coming for you,
Hmm.
I'm walking away.
And then she
Like,
didn't report him to the police at the time of the shooting because she was
mm-hmm.
trying to protect him because she knows how
That
police
police be
treat
wilding out
black.
here. Like, yeah.
Exactly.
And she's like, we could
So
all end up
even
killed
in
here.
that setting, exactly, she still
Yeah.
protected him.
Imagine. Imagine the disrespect that she must feel with him, like, playing these games now. I just don't. Ugh. And I'm like, bruh, you are Canadian, and it's like, all these Americans are like, send him back, deport his ass. And I'm like, we don't want him.
Yeah,
We don't want
listen, y'all,
him.
Americans don't get to pick and choose. Y'all, like, no, listen, no, I'm done with that. Like, you do not get to pick and choose who you want and who you don't. So we gave you Celine, we gave you Shania, we gave you Bieber, we gave you Drake. You know,
Honestly,
we gave you Shawn Mendes. And
Shawn
you want to
Mendes is
send this
Canadian?
one back? No, y'all can keep him. Listen, listen, you don't get to pick and choose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You asked
no
for
way.
him, you got him. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. No way. You do not, because the way that he has been reacting and acting is a part of the culture
very
that he.
American.
Thank you.
Like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nah.
Thank you. The way that he is been acting in regards to this is a part of the culture that has been ingrained in him, being at where he's at right now, which is the States, right?
Yeah.
So keep him, deal with him as you will, but like, don't put it on us.
Yeah.
Enough.
No.
That's not our thing or our fault. No. But I don't know. I feel that's. I kind of feel like I've said me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we kind of said all we needed to say, but I feel
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, enough. Yeah, I feel bad for her too, and she so early in her career.
She really been through a lot.
She's been through a lot, and I know, like, I just think about it would have been kind of around this time last year. We were talking about her and her knees. You know, her and her knees and how she could just dip it and do it.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting to see this new artist. She hadn't even had she had nothing out with Beyonce, nothing out with Cardi, nothing, you know, and it's like now to see this glow up and see how far she's come and just to be treated this way is very frustrating. But this is a conversation that has the back of Megan Thee Stallion. Ooh. So, what's drama?
Ooh, flashing lights.
Drama.
Wow.
That's probably a cue. They're probably like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, like, you're done.
So why don't we take a break and we'll come back with Speak on That.
All right.
And we are back.
Again, queer and black.
And it's time for Speak on That.
Hey,
all right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Mine is mine is simple, quick, easy, whatever, dumb, but I got to get something off my chest.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
So I'm going to speak on...
Oh.
Who got a message? Is that me or you?
Why? That was a message from you to
me. Was it me?
I don't know why that just came in now.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry,
what did I do?
Like, is my building on fire?
Straight up though. God, if you need help.
Listen, there was a fire truck that went by and then two others went by. Now I'm seeing flashing lights. There's EMS out here. Another fire truck came back by in the other direction. I can't see, but I'm gonna look outside once we're done.
Yeah. Do you
stand on the balcony and be like, what's going on?
So nosy. Hello?
Yes, and are you okay? Are you okay? Hello.
Ooh, I love it.
Man.
But I'm gonna speak on.
Mhm.
I'm gonna speak on
What
the
you gonna
Real
speak on?
Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, speak on
Okay,
that. Okay.
okay. Because listen, okay, this is gonna be so quick, but I gotta say it. Like I am so sick of like anybody that watches this show. I hope you understand or hope you agree. This Denise, ganging up on Denise thing, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Let her live. Let her live her life. Let her do what she wants. Let her exist. Let her sleep with who she wants to sleep with.
Who?
Let her protect her kids in the process of that. Enough with the ganging up on her. Every time I watch this episode or this series, my blood begins to boil
Hmm.
because the way that they're treating her is like it's you can see, and I know it's a reality show and parts of it are scripted, but you can see how it's affecting her like personally.
Mm.
And let me tell you, you can see how it's affecting her back because she's been carrying this season
Oh.
on her back. Like she has been like she has been had it not been for her, like I don't think these other women would have a storyline because they're
Hmm.
all ganging up on her. Do you watch it?
No, I don't know who any of these
let me
people
let me
are.
tell you. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let me tell
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
So I won't even go into grave detail, but basically the first half of the season is all about how she had a dinner party with all of the castmates, and they were talking about like threesomes and super sexually suggestive things,
Hmm.
and the kids. Her kids were, and her kids' friends were at the table behind them. So she kind of kept being like, "Oh, guys, do you mind like
Yeah.
being a little loud?" That was at the beginning of the season. For the next 8 episodes, they kept harping on how they're calling her a bad mom because she kept
What?
bringing it up. So then the second half of the season, it was ridiculous. And all she said was, "No, I'm a sexual person, just not around my children."
Yeah.
That was her argument. She was like, "Just drop it and leave it alone." And
Mm-hmm.
she had a habit of leaving events like early because she was just like, "You guys are doing too much. I've told you I'm done talking about this, so I'm gonna go."
Mm-hmm.
Second half of the season, there was rumors around her having an affair or ongoing affair with Brandy Glanville, a previous castmate of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was confronted about it, she denied it and vehemently denied it. But the castmates kept going in and in and in and in. And it's like, there's certainly holes in her story, but
Mm-hmm.
who cares?
Yeah.
Just let the girl live. And there's also something to be said about how she's going through a custody battle with Charlie Sheen right now and
Oh.
all of this stuff. So I'm just like, just leave her alone, let her live. And there's my favorite housewives are Garcelle, Denise, Dorit this year is really doing it for me too because they're all kind of like protecting Denise in a way and defending her because every time she's confronted in a group setting,
Mm-hmm.
you can see her back is up against the wall and she's just like, "No, like I'm telling you I didn't say this." And then she'll remember like, "Okay, well no, this happened." Because I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like this, as chaotic as this. But
You know I love
you
chaos.
but you tend to forget certain things or
Yeah.
whatever, or like maybe you're just like, "Oh, like I forgot." Yeah, or I did
Are you kidding me? I'll
whatever. Like
literally
you just
listen to this podcast the day it comes out and be like, "Oh, I said that." Like I
Thank
barely remember what we
you.
talked about. So
And we've
yeah, I
talked
get
about
it.
how we'll listen back to it and be like, "Oh, I'm so mad I didn't say this," or
Exactly.
"Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so I can't believe I forgot to say this," or
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da. So that's what I'm saying is like that's what happens, especially when everything is happening in real time and there's lots happening, whatever. So my speak on that is leave Denise alone. I have not watched the finale. I believe it's airing as I talk right now.
Oh.
But leave her alone. I'm team Denise. I'm sick of it. Housewives, y'all would be nothing without Denise at this point. She's only been on there for like 2 seasons and she is the moment. So that's that.
Hmm.
That's my speak on that.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say. That's
That
all I gotta say.
I feel that. Um, I don't know who any of those people are. But you explained it quite well, and I do feel for her because the fuck.
Thank you.
Like,
yeah. No, I know you would be Team Denise too. For the record, I know you would be Team Denise as well. So,
you.
yeah, absolutely.
I believe you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you gonna speak on today?
Okay, I am gonna speak on vehicles. No, hear me out. Listen.
Speak on that. Let's speak on it.
I'm gonna speak on cars and like people that like cars, but not all people that like cars. Mostly just young people, early 20s that like cars. Mostly men. Okay? Sometimes it goes all the way into the mid to the late 20s. Who knows? That like cars. So when you go as a licensed person, you go and purchase a vehicle. Good for you. Wonderful. When you go and make all of these customizations to this vehicle, please explain to me why you insist on making it the loudest fucking thing in the fucking city.
Come on.
Like, why do you have to drive by the road that I'm staring at right now through the window? The speed limit is 30. There's no reason to hear as you're driving by. You're only going 30. You should just be rolling. Why are you revving your engine? Like,
it should be Flintstone style.
It should be Flintstone style. Like, you should still have speed built up from when you came off the highway. Don't be revving your engine and making all this noise coming down this road when people are trying to sleep, okay? Or people are trying to enjoy their TV shows or record them on a fucking podcast. Like, yo, why? Why do you have to drive by with such noise? There's no need for that. Do you think it makes, like, are you trying to get people's attention? You want to get, like, no, none of us give a shit about you.
No.
We do not care about you or your loud ass vehicle, okay? Because to me, when a car is loud, it's broken.
Yeah.
So,
so true. Have you ever been on 17th in Calgary and been like minding your business, sitting there on a patio or even walking, and then somebody just does the most and revs, and you're like, there's actually nowhere to go. Like, bruh, you are going to stop in 2.5 seconds.
That's literally this road right here. I'll be sitting on the balcony, okay? And I'm like, what the hell is that sound? And it's like, on one end of this road is a school zone. On the other end is a playground zone. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Where are you going?
Exactly. Like, don't bring that shit here. This is a quiet neighborhood. It's
you know what that is?
There's kids here.
Yeah. Ugh. It's chaotic.
So annoying. It is. Next time somebody drives down this road with their loud ass vehicle, I'm gonna go on the back and be like, "Do you love chaos? Do you love chaos?" Just because what I've been doing lately is just I'll stop whatever I'm doing and just stare out the window and like just make a stank face at them, even though they can't see me. Oh my god! But I just look and I pause whatever I'm doing because I'm like, this is annoying as hell. Oh my god! But I'm gonna start running to the balcony and just be like, absolutely. Do you love chaos?
Do you love chaos? Oh my god! Because again, where do you have to be? Who are you trying to show off for?
Exactly.
What's the point?
You think the kids and the families in this area give a shit about you and your loud ass car? Mm-hmm. Is that what you think? Because we don't.
Mm-hmm. None of Everybody's just trying to live their lives.
I'm gonna throw eggs.
And yeah.
I'm gonna throw eggs next time, I swear. Because it's disrespectful and it's like you are disturbing the peace. All right?
Absolutely. I'm with you. Girl,
that's it.
That was a good one. That was a good speak. I appreciate you speaking on that because that goes across. That is on all roads.
It's
another thing. If we are even on a regular road, I don't know why you are going so fast just for you and I to meet at the red light that is coming up.
Do you know how much I love when that happens.
My favorite thing in the world.
So following, like, just on my ass real close.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, I want to get by. Then they finally get by. They, like, swerve in front of me, almost cutting me off and whatever. And then we get to a stoplight, and I pull up beside them. And I just roll the window down and smile. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, it's you again. Here we are together.
Shocking.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, oh, did you not know how roads worked? Did you not understand how roads work?
Oh, I love it.
People and their vehicles.
Yes, and their vehicles. But yes, that is the truth. Well, we did it. We covered a lot of ground.
We did it. We did it. Yay!
We did it.
That's from Dora, in case you don't know.
I did not know that, actually.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora the
wonderful
I did not
little
watch
girl
that show.
Speaks Spanish. Oh no!
Yeah.
What? They wasn't around when we were kids. I watched as an adult.
Are they making, or did they make a live action of
They
that?
did.
They did. Did you watch that?
Did. I did not. No, I have no business watching that.
I think that was in the previews of when I saw The Lion King. That was the previews. Was the Dora. So
yeah,
I don't know if COVID stopped it or what, but yeah. Anyway,
I mean, like, I look into it, but I don't care.
Yeah, Not enough, apparently.
Yeah, no.
But as always, thank y'all for listening. Any last few words from you, Lenah?
Nah, like, I don't know. Rate, subscribe, whatever. Do all the things that you do to podcasts.
All the things. That's right.
Share with your friends and have a conversation. Like, start a conversation with your friends about some of the stuff that we talked about, and then send us messages in our DMs that we may or may not respond to. I'm not sure yet, but let us know what you think and what your friends think and what you think about what we think.
Please, yes.
Yeah, and we may or may not respond to you.
Yes, that's a really important part of it, is just like we touch on, obviously, so many different facets of so many different things. And, like, we are coming at it from our perspective, but sometimes we miss things. Sometimes we, you forgot about this aspect of it. So it's like, we're always down to learn as well. So, like,
and I'm genuinely just curious. Like, I want to know what y'all think.
Absolutely. So, but as you were saying, please continue to do the rating and the reviewing and the sharing and the subscribing. We are so fortunate to have people that are, tuning in and listening all the time. So thank you. But, the way that new people find the show is through that sense of that sharing and rating and subscribing and whatnot. So to everybody that's been doing it, thank you. To people that are not subscribed, hit that button. Just hit that button.
What's wrong with you? What are you waiting for? It's right. It's so easy. It's right there. Literally right there. Just do it.
Yes, but we will be back next week with a brand new episode. And Lenah, I love you deep.
I love you wide.
And until next week. See you.